Hey guys, what's up? Jared here, Dex and Dice, Ramblings of an LGS owner. I guess I'm gonna do part three of it's not even really a named series, but well, part three of starting with nothing, or next to nothing. Anyways, um, this one is gonna be kind of like building your community as far as like what should not really what should, but what will probably appear in your shop initially. Um, so yeah, I guess let's just get right into it. Sorry, guys, and you might notice there's no boxes behind me and all that good stuff. I took care of all of that, and I'll go into the little bit greater detail later on to this video. Uh, Allergies are still kicking my ass, so I apologize about the more nasally sounding and possibly more pauses. It's the struggle is real. So, anyways, building your community. Now, I'm willing to bet that a lot of you who are looking to start up an LGS, you are already part of your, TCG community, nerd community, geek community, whatever you want to call it. So you'll have a general idea of like what kind of people are floating out there, which is perfectly acceptable. And that's kind of the way it should be. Um, with me, my experience is from years upon years ago. So that's a thing. And oh hey, look at that, the Facebook tab is not muted. So hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that. Let me check and see if it was the wife. Maybe, the kid might be on fire again or something. No, okay, cool. Oh yeah, for those of you that don't know, my 16-year-old boy caught his leg on fire, his left leg on fire, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that was a whole thing. He's good. He just you know, being a dumb 16-year-old. So, anyways, you're gonna get people into your shop that seem cool and all that good stuff, which most of them are, but you'll get a general idea of who are the who's who in part of certain circles. Um, so you'll want to really talk to those individuals, especially if you're going to have play space in your shop. You'll want to talk to those guys to know like who's cool and who's a douchebag. The interesting part about who's a douchebag is they will always come around to new shops in their area. They will look around because they've been banned everywhere else. They have nowhere else to go. And it's only a matter of time before they are excluded from your group too. Be that like you ban them yourself or everyone who knows about them generally just pushes them out the door. So building a community isn't really hard. Like I like to say, the flowers arrange themselves, and that's kind of typically what happens. Especially with a smaller shop like mine, your flowers will arrange themselves. They will pretty much dictate who's the douchebag and who's not, who's cool, all that good stuff. And that sounds what's a PC word, exclusionary or whatever, but it's really not. As horrible as this may sound, there's a certain level of gatekeeping that absolutely needs to be had in an LGS. There just has to be. I'm not talking about like you women go away or any of that shit. I'm talking about sheer douchebags, thieves, liars, stuff like that. Those kind of people, you need to let your community naturally handle it. And if they can't, and you find out who's who and you ban them, then that's the gardener tends the weeds if the flowers can't arrange themselves, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of the cool thing about that. And I go ahead and hate on me for saying that, gatekeeping is acceptable, but it really is, guys, especially when it comes to this. It just kind of has to be. There's a natural order to things. There's a pecking order, so forth and so forth. You know, not everything is created equally. Not everyone has an equal shot. Blah blah blah. Sucks to suck. Life isn't fair. Shit happens. It is what it is. So when you're trying to like cultivate your community, really listen to the people who know the community. If you're not one of those people yourselves, you know, if you're one of those people, then cool, you can just nip that shit. Damn, nip. Fingers aren't wanting to snap. Nip that shit in the bud right off the bat, which is cool. It took me maybe like a year and a half for that to kind of like solidify. Granted, you're going to have some that are still questionable that hang around. Some of your locals, I mean, some of your regulars are probably going to be kind of like, well, you're kind of a douche nugget, but you're not at the same time, you know, so it's, those people just exist and you're just going to have to get over it. Listen to your community as far as after you've kind of cultivated people. Watch what kind of people you have cultivated. If you notice that it's the same people over and over and over again, you're going to have regulars. Don't get me wrong. You're going to have regulars. That's going to happen. But if you never see any new faces come into the door and stay, that's the key important part there is and stay. I'm not talking about come in 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 times. I'm talking about they come in, you know, 3 times a month. They're regular enough for you to be like, oh, hey, I remember your name. I know what's going on, so forth and so forth. If you notice that you don't get any new faces and they don't keep coming back, you might want to take a little introspective look at who is in your community and pay more attention to what's going on inside your community when you have, you know, events or just free play or anything like that. Talk to them. Don't be one of these fucking store guys who stays in the back and just doesn't do anything, doesn't interact with his crowd, doesn't do shit. Fuck that. I kind of do that because I'm the only one back here that lists stuff on TCG. I'm the only one that actually deals with trades, so forth and so forth. So, like, as much as I would like to be more face forwarding, which honestly I wouldn't, you know, insider tip there, I'm not a social person, but as much as I would like to be more out front again, we have evolved into a spot to where I literally can't be out front all the time. So that being said, though, you want to talk to your people, get like a recap of what happened during the events, after the events. If a certain name keeps popping up, you want to address it with that person. I mean, all of this stuff should be common sense, but you would be amazed at how not common sense is. We've all heard that one and we've all experienced it. So if I'm preaching to the choir, I apologize, but there's probably at least 1 or 2 of you out there who might have needed to not necessarily hear that, but hear it from another source to kind of like drive it home a little, be like, okay, well, maybe I should take that more serious. So yeah, that's kind of the thing with cultivating your community, and that's just a general broad stroke, because every community is going to be different. Like your TCG community is going to be different than say your D&D, your Warhammer, drawing blanks on other stuff that you might have at your shops or whatever. There's going to be a lot of overlap, but they're going to be each person, everyone will act differently in whatever group they're in, if that makes any sense. So you'll just need to make, you know, special attention to certain things. And it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's how you build a decent community in your shops to where you just don't have a bunch of assholes in there that scare everyone else off. You know, a bunch of tryhards like sit down with a deck, oh, this deck isn't so powerful, and they just raffle stomp the person in 3 turns and laugh about it. And you know, like, I get it, but no, at least in my shop, it's a really relaxed environment. You can be yourself. You can fuck around with us. We'll tell you to eat a dick. You can tell us to eat a dick. No harm, no foul. Ha ha ha. It's jokes. But anywho, I suppose that's about all I've got with building a community. There's other stuff you can do too, random things to like strengthen the community. Like with our Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, we have began letting the winner of the month for our locals or whatever sign a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and we put it into a little frame thing we have. Magic, we have Commander Knights. That's not necessarily the same thing, but it helps people, I don't know, interact, socialize, and all that good stuff. And then everyone knows who's who, like who's a good player, and blah, blah, blah. That stuff just sorts itself out. When I did Warhammer at the shop, we had a Warhammer League, so like you could have, there was friendly competition, which I'm thinking about bringing Warhammer back, but that's a different conversation for just me to have in my head to be like, do you really want to do this shit? Do you really want to put up with motherfuckers 3D printing all their stuff and never really buying anything from you again? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's another thing for me to, toss and turn about before I go to sleep with my anxiety-fueled nights most of the time, because it's just the way I am. But yeah, so community. That's, if you want to rewatch that squirrel stuff, go right ahead. That's all I got to say about squirrel stuff. Another thing, like I said, as you can see, it's gone. Another beautiful thing about running your own circus is that sometimes you have to make crappy decisions, and I mean crappy in the best way possible. And I'll explain with, there were no shit probably between the racks that used to be behind me and the racks that were over there. I probably had about 500, 600,000 bulk Magic cards. That was just Magic cards. That's not including the random tidbits of Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, other random shit that's floating around. Well, I've had a lot of that since I first opened 4 years ago, and it's been thoroughly picked through. Staples have been pulled out. Certain card spikes that I was like, yeah, I think I have some of those. Those were pulled out, except so it was literally bulk. I just was tired of looking at it. No one wanted to buy it, and if they did, they were too far away to where, I'm talking to you, Rob, where they were too far away to where like shipping was just going to eat into any fucking profit that I would have made off of that. I could have probably driven the 8 hours that Star City is to sell them the bulk for a whopping $3 per thousand. To me, that, I don't know, what, $500-600 or whatever I might have made doing that didn't justify the 8-hour trip there, the renting of a truck, the time spent there while they maybe counted everything or ran everything through sorters to get whatever, and then the 8-hour trip back. It wasn't worth my time and effort for less than $1,000. And I know that sounds weird to people, but once you start doing this long enough, you'll understand that anything under that $1,000 mark, while it becomes questionable if it's worth your time and effort to actually pursue it or not. So that just is a case-by-case basis. I made the hard decision of saying, fuck these cards. I rented a dumpster, and currently there is 600,000 bulk Magic cards in a dumpster outside in the back alley, along with some, furniture items and stuff like that that I no longer needed. But when you're running your shop, you'll have to make weird, horrible decisions like that, because trust me, I died a little bit on the inside tossing away 5,000 count boxes of cards into a dumpster. It sucked, but like, what the fuck am I going to do with them? I don't have the manpower to sit here and make bulk random boxes. I don't have a machine that does that. if I even wanted to sit down and make random bulk boxes like I attempted to do, after coming in, checking orders, checking messages, looking at emails, contacting random distros, or just talking to my distros, looking for like doing a quick just visual inventory check, seeing if I need to re-up stuff, checking the bank account, seeing what's coming out, what's not coming out, what kind of wiggle room I have. Um, just all of that dumb shit before the day even starts is mentally fucking draining, and having to sit down and create bulk boxes where there's, what did I have for my little like 500 count or 550 count bulk boxes that I used to do. It it was 10 of each basic, 10 rares, 10 random foils, 60 of each color, non-basic land, stuff like that. I would also put in a booster pack, or, well, a play booster or whatever, one random play booster, a spin down. If there was any other, like, space left in the box, I would just stuff random bulk in there to fill the fucking box. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it is once you have pretty much reached the end of your, like, mental fortitude for the day to sit down, make the boxes if you ran out of boxes or whatever, and make the boxes, go through your fucking boxes of cards, pull out your specifics that you need for your shit, fill in the box, tape up the box and all that shit. That, like, I don't know, 20-30 minutes of time to do one fucking box, which, okay, it might have taken like 10 to 20, well, 25. Anyways, that time to make one fucking box compounded over, I don't know, if you want to make like 6 boxes, 20, 40, 60, 80, that's 100 minutes. That's like an hour and 40 minutes, it's for 5 boxes. You might as well say 2 hours to make 5 fucking bulk boxes. You have to come to terms with sometimes shit just isn't really worth it if you don't have, I don't know, like the automation to make it happen, or if you don't have a dedicated employee to just, your job is to deal with bulk and make bulk boxes. That's it. Fuck you. Nothing else. You deal with the bulk, and, bulk trade-ins or whatever the fuck. If you don't have that kind of manpower, you kind of just have to draw a line to be like, man, it's not worth it. Because putting yourself through that shit just to make a couple of bulk boxes, you gotta weigh the pros and cons of, if I use all of my mental fortitude right now, do I have anything left over for when I get home? And for me, which I'm sure rings true for most of you, when I get home, I'm not just coming home to an empty house. There's a wife, there's 3 kids, there's a puppy that I just want to, like, I don't know, leave her outside sometimes because she bothers the crap out of me, but she's a pupper, which is understandable, so, and there's better shit for me to spend my mental fortitude on than building bulk boxes, So you just got to figure that shit out for yourself. They're all going to be an individual basis. Your tasks may not be the same as what I'm saying, but you'll reach a point to where you're going to have to make that decision of, is this worth holding on to? Is this worth actually working through? And if it's not, then just find a way to get rid of it. And my way of getting rid of it, after reaching out to people to buy the bulk, trying to give the bulk away for free, was literally just get it the fuck out of my store. I'm renting a dumpster. Bye-bye. And boom. Sure, one of my regulars went dumpster diving in there yesterday, just looking at shit. And it's like, okay, cool, man. That's on you. You have way more, like, experience with Magic cards than I do as far as recent years and all that shit. You understand that, or you would be like, oh my god, why did you throw away this 10-cent common? It is bonkers in X deck. And it's like, that's that's cool, man. But that's a 10-cent common that I don't know, is only good in that one deck, maybe two that you know about. It's not worth me putting my time to just go through and separate all that shit. He said he found a couple of rares and mythics in there, and if he did, it was bulk rares and mythics. I'm willing to bet they weren't above $1 each. Because before I just decided to chunk everything, I did go through a few of the single row boxes that I had for the bulk pile. I was finding some staple shit in there, you know. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. So I missed this, and I missed this, or whatever. I spent like 30 minutes doing that shit, and it tallied up to $4 fucking. Like no shit, it was $3.92 or something on the TCG on the little scanner app. That's when I was like, I don't care. It all just goes. I'm not doing this. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting 30 minutes of my time for $4 fucking. That's no. So, hard decisions you're going to have to make. They're going to vary from person to person, situation to situation. But if it comes down to fuck this and it just has to be thrown out, don't feel bad about it. Just throw the shit out and press on with your life. I'm willing to bet a lot of you watching this have done the same thing with just a shit ton of bulk that you had lying around the house that you couldn't get rid of. You were tired of looking at. There was no way to move it. You just said fuck it and chunked it. So, you know, just get prepared to make dumb decisions like that. Uh, oh, some. Holy shit, it's back. Okay. Um, some of the I missed something about what you should carry in the last video. Deck boxes, obviously. Everyone knows boulders. Boulders are great. They're your default editions of stuff. They're great. They come in like 40, 60, 80, 100 counts. There's 133. Just depends on what's going on at your shop, what you need to stock. These things, however, these things are amazing. These are the Dragon Shield deck shells. They come in different colors, all that good stuff. There is a double version that holds like 2 decks or whatever. But this is 100 cards, sleeved. They can be, I believe they can be double sleeved and still fit in these. I'm not 100% sure. But these come in different colors and stuff. These are amazing, especially if you just have someone who just wants a cheap-ass deck, and that's that. These are like $5 each. Not that you sell them for like $5. I think they're like $3 each on our end. But they're amazing. I would highly recommend trying to get these. And when I say try to get these, is because everyone and their brother wants these damn things, and they're really hard to find. Because I don't know when their shit comes in. Sometimes my distro lets me know that, hey, we're getting a Dragon Shield, you know, shipment in, blah, 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 so I can kind of time stuff, but 9 times out of 10, you won't know unless you just go on there every day and just kind of look. But these things are great. Let's see. Yeah, I think that was about it. Nah, that was about it. That's all I missed. So, yeah. I don't really know anything else to throw out there to you guys. I tried to make this as like bare basic, like you just have the bare minimum to start out stuff with, and like what you should probably try to focus on or do with your limited resources. You know, so don't feel bad if like I said in one of the other videos, the shop that's been here for 9 fucking years outshines you. It's just, it's time. That's the only reason they're really outshining you, is just because of time. Been there longer, they have more, you know, inventory. They probably have more leeway with distros. It's in everyone's mind that that shop there is default.exe shop. That's where I go to. Blah. Oh, and speaking of that, don't feel bad if you can't or won't, you know, poach people from any other shops. People will make a shop their own shop. You know, everyone has their home LGS, doesn't matter what it is. It's where they go because it's convenient and it's where they've been going. They're comfortable with it. So don't feel some certain way if you just, you can't get people from shop B to go to your shop or whatever. Sometimes they will because they'll just come see what you got. Inventory will vary, blah blah blah. But don't get butthurt if they don't stay or if they don't, show up a lot or whatever. It is what it is. Everyone has their preferred place to go to. Human nature, can't fault it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it, guys. Please let me know if I missed anything or if you want to know anything. I'm an open fucking book. You may not like how I word it or tell it to you, but I'll just spew it out, and whatever happens, happens. But please let me know in the comments if I missed anything. You have any gripes of what I said? Just whatever, address it in the comments. And yeah. Oh, full disclosure, because I'm trying not to be a douche nugget. I did throw in a little bit of extra money to promote one of the other videos, so that's a thing. As I said in one of the other videos, it's really fucking hard to get any kind of organic growth on YouTube anymore. Even Rumble, man. Rumble is damn near impossible because everyone who was how can I word this? Any other big names that migrated from YouTube or even Facebook or whatever to Rumble, they get the audience anyways, and it's no matter where the hell you go, it's really just the same fucking 60 people sharing their same content across different platforms. And if there are any crumbs left, it's what everyone else gets. But yeah, so I'll probably promote this one too, honestly. I'll probably throw $50 at it and just be go and see what happens. Because I like doing this, honestly. It may not seem like I do, but I do. And I think my kind of no BS approach to stuff, a lot of people appreciate. I don't want to say you enjoy it, but appreciate it. So yeah, that's that. I will leave you guys alone, and as I like to say, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard. Or you're a trash can, not a trash can't. Whatever applies, use it. Yeah. You guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.